Okay, here we are. We're now at the lesson proper. There's going to be, actually, this is chart 434. Half diminished caged chord adjustments. Like I say, apologize for the wrong number there. I'm working on an old computer, and then OneDrive isn't automatically syncing to the folder that I'm using on the new computer where we're running videos. It's not even a new computer, it's just Windows 11. So this is it. It's half diminished. Now, we talked about this. This is just, these are tools. The whole chart is a tool. Okay? This is the caged relationship. Now, it's important to look at some of these relationships. The word caged, C-A-G-E-D. You draw like a star, C-A-G-E-D, like that, right? You're just skipping every letter. Going clockwise. Clockwise here is in caged lettered fifths. But easier to remember, but the fifth of E is C now. The fifth of E is B, but it goes to the C shape. So the E shape goes to the C shape. I have to play it up here, because if I play an E shape down here, what can't we do? We can't do a C shape. Okay, so play it up here. Here's your E shape. Clockwise to its fifth shape is the C shape. 1, 4, 5. Okay. What are we really doing with the word caged? C-A-G-E-D. We're skipping a letter. C, skip A to G, skip E to D. This is the way to think it if you want a relationship that involves fifths. A relationship that involves fourths, you go the other way. The fourth of A is D, the fourth of D is G, the fourth of G is C. But the caged fourth of C is E. Remember, 1, 4, 5 in the C box is C, E, G. Okay, and the 1, 4, 5 in the E box is E, A, C. Okay, so one's a major, one's a minor. A little way to play it. All the rest of them are 1, 4, 5. Okay, A box, A, D, E. Okay, A, D, E, 1, 4, 5. Now, these are going in fifths. So 1, 4, 5. The interval between 4 and 5 is in a fifth, so you're not going to see it as easily. But that's it. Now, the modes, as we know, we're just going to cover these real fast because they're going to be part of the labeling. The major seventh is root 3, 5, 7. The minor second is 2, 4, 6 root, right? So root 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6 root for the second minor, 3, 5, 7, 2 for the third minor seventh, 4, 6 root 3 for the major seventh, 5, 7, 2, 4 for the dominant, 6 root 3, 5 for the sixth minor seventh, and 7, 2, 4 Charlie for the 7, 7th, the half diminished seventh. Okay. Now the gist of this chart, once again, I see I'm not on the screen totally. I should back off a little bit. Half diminished caged chord adjustments. Here's what we're targeting right here. 7, half diminished seventh, 7, 2, 4, 6. Center of this little chart. Okay? Okay. So this is the center. Now, going outward, we have some pretty close relationships. This D to E, let's look at the C box. This D to E we were already talking about earlier in the lesson. And I want to show you in the word caged, we have an E to D relationship, or a D to E. It doesn't matter. As long as you're going forward in the word caged, remember, this is not a fretboard. 4 does not go to 3/4. These are the two cages related. So that's why they're kind of juxtapositioned like that. So these are the relationships. But once we get to this D, okay, this E will help us get to this D minor, okay, to the E major 4th will help us get to the D minor 2nd. The D minor 2nd will have an understanding of this before we have an understanding of an adjustment to the D minor 2nd will get us to this C. We call it the 7th half diminished. You can call it a C minor half diminished shape, or we could call it the D minor add 7 shape. Okay, so what happens, instead of playing the D minor 7th where we have the root, we can have the root go to the 7 of the D minor 7. So here's our D minor 7th, have the root go to the 7th, and there's our half diminished 7th that we're looking for there, right? So that's how that would go. Up here we have a D minor. This is in the C box, so the D minor's off. Now this is I could put Mr. Capo on so we can do this perfectly. You know, this is your tuning. So we have, by the way, all the notes rubbed off on this. I didn't laminate it, and then my other guitar, the tuning thing broke, and now I'm left with this. I haven't gotten around to that mechanical stuff again, but when I get into it, you know, we'll fix them all up. Okay, so here's the D minor. All right, and it's 7th. It would be like this. Okay, well, that would be 6 root 4 there. But we've got the regular D minor shape. All we're going to do is add 7 to that, and the regular D minor wouldn't include R. Or if we have the minor 7th, the way that we might play it on the half position chords, where we simply find it very convenient and helpful to add the 7th to it. So it'd be like this, but this is not in key. Okay. All right, so that's a C sharp minor 7th half chord. We'll just take the R, and we'll go to the 7 with it. Okay, so we have a D minor. We have our D minor. We don't have the 7th, so why don't we take the okay, in the C box we don't have the 7th to work with, but if you simply add the 7th to the D minor, you've got your half diminished. Well, let's look at that D minor one more time. Drop that 2 to the 7. In essence, if you can get your 2 down here, drop that 2 to a 7. That's it. Sounds like a clock that needs, it's overwound a little bit. So that's, and then the caged relationship. Now there's a caged relationship between the D minor and the C. Now remember, this isn't upper lower case. This is an upper lower case right here. But this is understood as a D minor here, and here's your C. Now they're not always going to line up like this. It could be just positioned. That word I'm tripping over today, huh? C shape, 4, 7, 2. Okay, and that's your basic kind of C minor shape diminished chord, because we've dropped the 4 down here, but it'd be a C minor shape, which would have been 4 sharp, 7, then 2, and then we might have some sunken chords, sunken notes there. So that's why we make it